Today we're continuing with day 8, part 2. We were able to solve day 1, part 1 after first attempt that was complete failure. After we changed a little bit the approach and tried to understand the requirement of the problem, and we craft a solution that was working, but I'm pretty sure we'll need to invest a little bit more work in day 8 part 2 because of how we solve the problem. But let's start firstly with the problem. Our initial problem was that we have a display that is showing numbers from 0 to 9, and we had the number are encoded with as a string that contains which letter being activated for the moment, and they're separated by empty space. For example, that's the first screen that has this encoding, and that's the number separate with this OR operator that we need to find out to which actual digit they correspond. And the tricky part was that actually the displays are not working correctly, and each of the displays it's broken in a different way. And when I'm saying broken in a different way, simply they were firing the wrong parts. For example, when they wanted to show 1, the string was B instead of CF, etc. And how we solved that, we had one not working solution from ChatGPT. We iterated a lot of time and we weren't able to solve it. And after that I decided to simply simplify the solution, delete a big part of it, and concentrating to using a Bing to simply guide me to what was actually broken on the screen and so on. And we ended up with here, as always, you can see my prompts and what I have asked Bing for, and before that the failed part, and now the working one. We end up with very, so to say, using the part of the solution that ChatGPT, or to be more specific, I think this solution came up from OpenAI API tests, but simply, so to say, handcrafted for the case that we wanted to check for the 1, 4, 7, and 8 as the numbers. And the key point was that actually these numbers are unique, no matter to which letter how they're swapped. We know that for 8 all of the letters needs to be triggered, for 1 only 2, for 4 4, and for 7 3. All of the other they have like 5 letters that needs to be, or 6 like in this case, and that needs to be we need to know which ones are to be able to distinguish between 5 to 3 and from another side 6 and 9, and we identified and 0. We identified that we can do it in the way that is done here, not by asking Bing to do it for us, but asking for Bing to summarize the task for us and to help us with the parts that we couldn't understand and to give us some summary using the solution that we get of our previous attempt and simply modify it to much simplified version that it's really focusing on solving only that problem. Now we will continue with part 2. I'm pretty sure that part 2 will be not anymore as easy, because we will need to do proper encoding and so on. And in our case, we have our answer is correct. It was 525. In part 2, we need to do a little deduction and be able to determine the remaining digits, and this time being able to count all of them. Okay, and let me see what's exactly the task. We have, through a little deduction, you should now be able to determine the remaining digits. Exactly what I was talking for digits like 0, 6, 9, and 2, 3, and 5. And after some careful analysis, the mapping between signal wires and segments only makes sense in the phone configuration. So the unique signal pattern would correspond to the following digits. We have AB 1, 0, 4, and as we can see, we can see that this one, and this one have specific length, which allows us to eliminate them in the way that we did it. That wasn't what Bing or ChatGPT or OpenAI API was suggesting, but was something that I came up with after reading the description for Bing, which was really helpful for me to identify this pattern, but wasn't really solving, so to say, the which one is broken where. Then the 4 digits that output values can be decoded as this one, the 3 can be like this one, now instead of simply counting how many ones, fours, 7s and 8s we need actually correctly to decode the given index the given number, and we need probably to sum up them. For example, here we were doing this a little bit hacky thing, and we were identifying, okay, that's 1, that's as well 1, and so on, simply relying, that's 8, relying on how long the number is. And now we will need to adjust for that and to provide a sum of these digits that we get. And let's try to firstly a little bit brute force it by having here as a prompt, to say, well, we had a working program that we change, that the requirement for which being changed, and we want to make the required adjustments. In our case, let's say that I have a working Go program, but the requirement for the program changed. I needed initially to parse input and try to count how many was encoding a specific way of having a digit as, how was called that, on 7-segment display, on a 7-segment displays. 7-segment displays. And I needed to parse input that was encoding a specific in a specific way a digit on and now, however, because the task was to count how many ones, threes, sevens and eights, how many fours, 7 and 8, 1, 4, 7 and 8. Input to the knowing that arrow with length of 7 be 8 could you help me to adjust my program in a way to meet the new requirement? Okay, that's the input. Here I'm trying to align Bing by asking this question. I want to prevent that Bing could tell me, oh, I couldn't write the programs, and I want to prevent that. I'm using the strategy, okay, I'm describing how I'm in this situation, blah blah blah, and I want Bing to ask me, okay, what's your program? And why I want to do that is in another reason. I in general have a big restriction of what can I input here because of the size. It's the cap is 2000 characters, which is significantly smaller than the input for ChatGPT, which is up to including the reply and the input up to 4000 tokens, and each token is corresponding to average about 5 characters, and for that actually the restriction is not by half, it's up to 10 times less than what you can give to ChatGPT, and for that I'm waiting Bing to ask, wait here, can you tell me more about the new requirement for your program? What change do you need to make? Firstly, I will prompt and say, oh, that's my program. This is my program, and I have this is my Go program. And to change this part here, let's do it with the test. And yeah, my program is relatively short, which is so good because we're again blocked by this cab. Okay, we don't care for let's play them. This is my Go program, and we are giving that to Bing. Bing will not do anything with that, but most likely we'll ask her, okay, but what are your prompt 3, Bing, will ask us to provide the new requirement. The new requirement are as follows, and here we have this part from here, which is actually this example. Let's see if that would fit. and we want to add all of these numbers. Again, we're doing that because of how restricted we are with our token size. In this case, not even the token size, but how many characters we could put to bin. And bin was saying, okay, blah blah blah, that are our requirement. Let's not forget about to have the answer, as always. I submit of the answers and so on in my GitHub repository. And now we're now what bin is doing is mapping that, and it's using this map to read our input. It's multiplying it by 10, which doesn't make sense. Okay, I don't like this whatsoever. Let's I mean that's wrong. Let's continue asking ping, because yeah, this kind of output will not solve our problem, and not only it's not what we want to use even in our case. Let me simply fix the code here, put go, nice. Prompt 4. I think we'll stop with Bing after finishing this conversation. I don't want to get very deep in going back and forward, because as we saw in previous tasks, that's usually not very productive. This neural network seems to look like if they couldn't solve the problem on their first or second go, they start getting confusing and trying to actually clarify stuff for the solution and so on. It simply doesn't work, and it's better to simply ask to modify the suggestion, and I will go through that after asking a little bit Bing to see if can do something for about 5 minutes, and if it doesn't work, I will simply continue with using ChatGPT, using our original solution and posting that as a original problem, and iterating through the solution. That was one tactic that used to work quite decently in some of our previous example, and I will go step by step again through. But for the time being, I will say your solution does not really generalize to the new environment. I have imp and each line I would need to find which digit is this. How? And here I will give like a 3 lines. Simply to say, you know, you're far off. Let's see, I would imagine that being will have a hard time to really connect that, but let's see. It's splitting correctly. Okay, it's adding the case, and what does it do for the rest? Okay, this solution is these maps. Okay, let's grab these solutions firstly, because I might we might go a little bit further with because it has its nice parts. I really like this switch statement because we can easily use it. Let's firstly get to our test input. This outrageous multiplying by 10. I don't have no idea why on earth is this kind of stuff here. Might be something to it. Most likely not. But let's see how does it perform. For our test input that we needed to get 5 to 5, we're no 26, we're getting completely different stuff. We have digit map. In here we're checking, okay, that's 2, and we are knowing that that's 1, that's 3, that's 4. And we're doing 1, 7, 4, and 8 for all of these cases. Which after that we're ignoring the why is that even called? Okay, we have our outputs values, and we're checking if we have it there. We need to get it. We have 1748. And we're getting the digits. Okay, it's multiplied by 10 because we'll have firstly the first digit will be, the sum will be 0. After that we'll have at the end of this iteration we should have here numbers, and have two numbers actually the sum. And let's make it, I really like this approach. Numbers, yeah, we have simply empty array, and here we start every time with 0 and so on. Here in numbers, actually what we want to do is to have our favorite sum and simply to sum up the numbers, and we're getting 31 so far, which is let me see, which is not correct, but that's expected because we don't have our we're not getting our handling of the one that are with length 6, that are 0, 9, 6, let me add here. We have nothing for case with length 6, and we have even worse digits for case with 5, which should be 3, 4, 5. And 0, 6, 9. Okay, perfect. I think there is no deduce the no, 1 second, I have that completely wrong. I didn't know this one. Wait, six, and we have input values, and we have value. And I would like to have it like that. I'm not absolutely confident with this one how it would work with 0 plus, and it's 10. I think will work correctly. Okay, that's perfect. Let me go to this one and say, okay, I like your solution. Fixed part. Let me see from Bing. But part. Here is my current the problem, and we have go, bam, our solution. Could you implement for me? And what I want is simply these two functions. Let's make that not be so wrong with thank you. Okay, that seems reasonable. Now we're to the stage that we have a skeleton of decent program. Let's see. I'm really thankful that Microsoft increased this limit to 10. One was 6 was whoa, what is this? Oh, that's that's not what what I would expect. Let's copy it and let's. I like a lot of this stuff. Well, I'm getting return 9, return 6. Looks like completely wrong. But let's see if we can understand the idea and what might be wrong with it. Oh. And thank you. Okay, that's exactly. And here we have the answer. No, let me copy and paste it. Thank you. It's much nicer. And the functions, I really like how being precise remove a lot of the comments, and it's simply reducing the size. Let's see. Here's one way you could implement the duties for and I'm going, when it's with 5 digits, that means can be 2, can it be 3, and can it be 5? 2, 3, 5. Okay, these solutions are wrong. They're simply not counting any K of the case. Let's simply not invest too much time thinking about them, but simply ask it should return 2, 3, or 5. I have also a it should return 1 second, 0, 0, 9, and 6. 0, 9, and 6. Is 0 or 3, or please fix them. Okay, instead of going to the rabbit hole and try to just the logic, we need to get to the point that we like the form of the functions, and after that we can a little bit iterate and see if we can fix it. I'm not liking how they decide that A and B yeah, we need to mention that okay, again, that's getting a little bit better, but it's again, instead of iterating and thinking of what Ping wants to do, let's correct obvious mistake and tell about them being and see if it's really able to take that in account. Yeah, so seems or to a specific encoding screens, although keep the yeah. Let's ask for this, how would you make your solution more general and pointing to the kind of error that I'm here is of input. Let me first copy this part because it's saying okay, you cannot functions and so on. Fair enough. But also we have the ability to actually give Bing more input. How much more? I think that should be enough to push Bing to do better kind of job, and also we have enough tokens. Yeah. Okay, let's Bing is claiming that with NB would be kind of working, which I think we should provide this info here. Yeah, let's go for this. The problem is blah blah blah. And let me do that and see what Bing would be able to do, because Bing has no clue for this kind of input. Okay, it's a little bit cramped, but I think it's enough. To handle this new type of so, Okay. Here is the answer, and I actually agree that we need this. Okay, here it's a description of solution. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, let's no, I don't want this answer. No, what I actually, could you add this logic to my program? Thank you. Could you add this? I should not mention my to your program. Let's see what. Here is one way you could update your program to read each entry in your notes and extract the 10 unique signal patterns, the 4-digit output value. For each entry, analyze signals pattern to determine which parameter corresponds to which digit. If digit 6 once you have determined which signal pattern corresponds to which digit, each entry, decode the 4-digit output value and determine what digits are being displayed on each display. I think it's very true that we simply need to have here when we have this digit map to have here to create this getting the input actually to correct the digits and to see, okay, that's the 2 and they can be flipped, that's the 3 and so on. And in this case we can having the input values will be able to deduce, okay, is that with length 5 or is with length 6. Okay, let's do the deduction ourselves. Let's get to the Bing suggestions, because there they were more or less nicely formatted. Let me go here, check that stuff. These things with the nines, little bit worse. Why I don't have this substring thingy? Okay, I have this substring thingy, but do I really need it? Let me look at the 5 digits. With the 5 digits, we already, with the 5, we can be 2, 3, and 5. To be 3, we should definitely contain the 1. This one couldn't contain the 1s, and this one couldn't contain the 1s. In this case, to say, okay, we're 3, instead of checking this and so on, we need to see if it contains the 1. Bye. If it contains the 1, should be 3, and it's in with this land. If it's actually should contain an 7, isn't it? Yeah, 7 definitely. And if it's 2, does he have anything that contains completely? Shouldn't contain how to decide if it's 2 and 5? For 2, both should contain one part of 2. How many parts of 4? That should have 1 and 2 parts of 4. This one should have 1, 2, 3. Okay, to distinct is that 2 or 5, we can use 4 and see how many parts they can contain from 4. If it's 3, it's 5. Okay. Let me put that to like else and let's do the 5. Substring is let me ask again bin. Did I post that? Yeah, I have it. I want to ask Bing how can I count how many common character 2 strings have regardless of the position. Could you write me a function in Go that counts how many there's 2 strings common of the character position also the strings would not have duplicators. Let's see if it would be able to do that for me. Prompt. And what's the okay. Charge Rumble True. Absolutely perfect. That seems exactly what would I expect. Very, very, very solid stuff. More and more very solid stuff. Common characters. We don't need this. substring which was doing something very similar, I would assume. Input values, while checking the len that it's not 9. Let's remove all this stuff. I really don't like it. Value, and with which one wanted to compare. We wanted to compare 4, which is in index 4, with 5. 4, and we expected this one to have 3, but long before that we actually should check firstly for this one, our main one. First we check for 3. If it's not 3, then check, okay, is it with 4 having 3 should have with 8 like 5, with a 3 should have all of them. Wait, and if it's not, it's 2. Okay, and if we do the same kind of thingy, but this time we want to have 9, 0, or 6. 9, 0, 6. Zero. Can we say something for 9? Yeah. 0 and 6, they don't match completely 4. 9 match completely 4, which means that is to have 4 common characters with 4. How we can distinguish if 0 or 6? With 7, 0 needs to have all of them. Zero and 1. Okay, let's do it like that. 0, 0, and here is 6. If we are 0, we should have one completely, which means should be 2. I'm getting 31. Bit to get confused. Here I should have print line. Hey, 1 second, why is this digital mapping? I want to okay, this look about right. Let me look at the numbers then. Probably something wrong with the numbers. Okay, these numbers doesn't look about right. With 5 again, let me check. With 5 that are 3, 5 and 2. 3, 5 and 2. Okay, I mean the whole thing would need to be every time completely reset. One second, here we have the output And the output, is it correctly split? Let me check, because this number are, so to say, definitely not correct, but I think it's probably this dodgy stuff up here, because we have this thing, yeah? And we have our values correctly. Let me add another and look at the first one. We have wait a minute. Why we have FDCG? We have one. Here I need to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But I never get 2. 2 and 5 are, so to say, wrong. Why would be 5 wrong? I'm trying with 4 and I want to see that it has 3 mapping part. Okay, that's fine. Which 3 will have, but will be, what about 2? It why is okay, 1 second. That's definitely correct. Is that because they're not correctly ordered? I will none of these will match any of that. Look again. Is it in the output or okay, I'm seeing that it's like that. Eight, 3, 9, 4. Let's look at my example here. I need to get we have this one is 8. No, that's not. This one is 8. Okay, before to call it a day, let me try a few times ChatGPT. Again, start getting prompt 1 ChatGPT. Okay, I have the following program, but it seems a bit buggy. Doesn't not match my requirement. Okay, let's start ChatGPT with having this thing. Firstly, before do even that, that will be our second prompt. Our first prompt will be the one that we use here, context URL blah blah blah, with the donk node stuff. I'm saying that you're a prominent competitive programmer, you have read books from Donald Knuth and you solve all the problems in them. I mean, that's a bit insane, but you have been invited to participate in a programming competition, you're given a problem to solve. And that's our initial input and answer from ChatGPT. I'm sorry, but I'm and second of oh man, this inputting stuff. And what's our problem? Here we can be more generous with our input. Okay. I'll be shocked if ChatGPT can help with that, but let's. No, I don't worry, guys. Let me do that one. Could you rewrite the program to work? Okay. Let's change this and I'm getting yeah, 100 here. No, No, that's absolutely stop. I don't care. I want to. Mm-hmm. What I mean, he didn't remove it. I mean, even the explanation it's completely wrong. Mm-hmm. No, that doesn't seem. Could you completely, completely, spell completely? I think that's not how you do it. Yeah, it's like that. Nice. Cambridge completely. Could you completely rewrite? Oh. Let me get here. Yeah, that stuff doesn't look about right. But let me. Так. Certainly, yes, Ruby. Now this. Now this problem is even worse than the one that I had. Output values. From where is output values? Like put digits. Okay, that's look. You're quite wrong. Mm-hmm. Value range digits. Six digit. What on earth is that? With the six digit have 5 in common. Mm-hmm. But wait a minute, they're not ordered correctly. I think in my solution the indexing here is simply wrong. Yeah, I need to revisit that. But before that, I will make a short break and we'll continue. Thank you for your time. See you after the break. A couple of days short break. Let's go back to the solutions that I was trying to do for part 2 date 8. So far I've been the last thing I needed even to revisit part of my video to remember myself where I've been. We were to this position in which I was looking at the indexing and simply seeing that for example that's 1, it's not on the correct position on each set. It's simply it's not like a index 1 etc. And here in my solution I was simply assuming that that's the case, and I think that firstly I need to find all the indexes that are known, the one that are for 2, 3, 4 and for 7, and after that to use this one when I'm having these input values. I need to actually have the input values, the given value, but also the so far the digit map, or at least to have the index of where is a given string in this case, because at the moment I have map that it's saying okay, I know that that's 1, that's 7, that's 4, and that's 8, but where they're in my input value I don't have this solved, and for this purpose, to be able here to use, for example, when I'm looking at 1 or the 4th, here again the 4th and the 8th, I need to know this information. I need to know where exactly they are. How to assume, because I need to compare with them. Can I I'm thinking, can the first thing that I need to do is I need to fulfill this 1s, 7, 4 and 8 separately, and after that only once I have done that I can really resolve that, or using some way of finding based on their length from the input which one is 8 and so on. Yeah, let me do that. Instead of changing this order, what I was thinking to do is simply to have here, and I'm finding these input values and using simply the index 8, 4 and so on. I will simply try to find the index of to simply have a function that it's finding the index of 4, 1, 3 or 4 find by length. And this find by length, what is going to do, I haven't as you can see, I haven't work on the problem or think about it. And here I can have length int, and now I want to return int. I want to return the index of the element that has the length that I expect. Okay, let's see if that's the case. For me here I want to get index 1, but my length needs to be 2. In this case I will use it here, and index 4, Let me double check what was the size of 4, if that's correct. Yeah, 4 was with length 4. Index 4. Here again, index 4. And that's 8. Oh, 1 second, that should be 7. Yeah, sorry about that. 8. And what can I do with index 8? Okay, use it here and see that there is exactly this matching that I expect. 31. I'm getting 31. Isn't it that not what I would expect to get? In this case, let me think a little bit. 4, I have the 4. I have the 1. And what might be wrong here? Do I have, why I have 3 so many times? I have my 1, 4, 7 and 8 correctly. 0 here, I should not have 3, and that worries me some, because for these ones I should have either 3. Okay, let me do something and simply have this file, but having here temp. I want to save this file here and simply to have only one single line and making it working for it, and after that iterating to the other one. I mean, for everyone watching the video, I would need to apologize that I haven't learned to use the Go debugger. I mean, I know that I can debug like that, and can I simply start it like that? Okay, so asking for my password. Let's write it. Oh, when I run it like that, I have problems to find the file. Is that because how the project is starting? It's similar to when I run it like that. Is that going to help? Let me see. Okay, actually, sorry, okay, I can't jump and see the variables and so on. Yeah, that was the whole problem with debugging this stuff. I've never used the Go debugger. I mean, long ago I was C# developer, and I mean, should be not very different. Okay, in our case we will scan only one line. What we want to do is to actually stop here, and after that stopping in the 5s that were wrong. Okay, let's jump. Now we're here. That's our one. We should is that to jump over? Yeah. Now we're on like, wait a minute, where were jump? Okay, that's 2. We're going here. That's the next number. Now we have our 7, which should be our 8. We're checking, because we're checking that it's not with this land, it's 8. That's with land 6. How you're doing some kind of, okay, I can see where you're doing like a binary distinction or starting from the middle, I'm not sure. That was 6. Okay, now we'll go to here. We don't have stops in the 6. How is our looking? The CBD if is as 9, consider. Okay, that might be the case. Okay, now we're something that's again 6. Now we have this one like a 6, and we need to decide for 2, 3 and 5. This one fine. And now we have CG and okay, that should be with length 4. See? So far we have 1, 4, 6, 8. No, 1, 2, 3. Is that because really 1, 2, 3 are okay, that's with 5, that's with 5, and that's with 5. What's happened with F, D, C, G, E? me go to the program. Okay, we're before that. Now we're to these bad boys that should jump in our function. Okay, well, now we're here. We have all of our inputs that, and we know that our 7 should be the longest one. Our 8 should be with length 7 and should be with index 1. Let's see how that's going. Okay, I'm probably jump over. In here, removing 1. Okay, it's 1. That looks correct. And we would expect, if that's 3, to have 5 common this one should have 5 common, because of this, no matter how they're split, they should be there. Okay, but wait a minute, that make almost no sense. The same will apply for 2 and the same will apply for 5. That's simply completely wrong as a logic. Okay, let's see our logic. Why we get 8 index of 8 to compare with and to have 5 whenever 2, 3 and 5 will have the same kind of common one. If we look at 5, we are trying to compare 5 with 4, because we know, because this one will have 3, this one will have 3 in common, and this one will have 3 in common when we compare with 4. And this logic is totally wrong. What I have taught previously doesn't seem to make any sense. Why here, when I'm deciding am I 2, 3 or 5, I know that the only one that have all the ones, it's this 3. Here I would assume that instead I should have 1 with length 2, and here I should have index of 1 n should be 2, then it means that I am this one, because only this one, no matter how this and this are flipped, will have this 2. Okay, that's good. Now we need to decide, am I 5 or 2? If I compare 5 to 7, I will have 2 common. If I compare 2 to 7, I will have again 2 common. If I compare 5 and 6, I should have 5 in common, and if I compare 2 with 6, I will have only 4. Okay, I probably can use this stuff if I already have solved 0, 6 and 9. Can I use something else? When I'm comparing 4 with 5, I will have 3 common. When I compare it with A, I will have only 3. Okay, which is exactly what I do here, and I'm saying that I'm 5. Okay, that in theory should be only this type of mistake. Let's remove these breaking points. And let me simply stop here and run the program like that. No, I couldn't. I need to run the debug. It's 0, y 0. Have only zeros. Why would I have only zeros? What's my digital map? Numbers. How about that? Let me return this version in which I had okay, I see, and I have some binary. I don't care for you. My favorite binary, and here for the test, and simply No, I will keep this test, but I wanted in the test file to get the relative path to the file. Okay, now when we run the file, I'm getting 0. Are the numbers now looking correct? 1, 2, 3. I mean, they seems legit to me. Was this stupid mistake? Let's see, is that the case with 4? Okay, now I'm deciding that something is 9 by comparing it with 4 and saying if it has 4 equals will be fine, which I'm considering. Okay, that will not have it, that will not have it, that looks like 9. Correct. And I'm comparing 1 to decide if that's 0 or that's 6. Okay, again, it seems correct. I'm getting 0 here. If I'm going to executing the first one, I would expect for the first line which number I should get, because I'm having this number here. And this one, instead of being 0, here if I'm looking of if G, I can see that if GD is C here, that should be, are these numbers here simply the correct numbers? I mean, without I can see this GB, GCB, GC, Okay, this GCBE should be simply the fourth. But wait a minute, when I know all of them, could I simply correct them and have because they seems to be broken, but I have now the encoding of all of this. I know which one is going where, and the only point that I need to do is in this line having this map. I should simply probably when I'm looking here in the map, I can simply order them alphabetically where I do the looking through the map, because I have matched the number correctly. The only thing is now to match this and this, but I think that instead of correcting them, I can here have all this ordered alphabetically, and that should be enough. Okay, let me see in which moment I'm looking in the map. Firstly, I have my map. Do I here in the map? Let's go back to Bing because I stopped using Bing. How would I order string of Charles alphabet lingo? Could you give me example? Sorry about that, I went too much in thinking how to solve the problem and less on this part. Let's don't debug that, having our prompt. What was my last prompt? Oh, that's ginormous. Prompt Bing, and the answer from Bing. That's what Beans is saying. To simply have it to have my to have one string, and after that split it to characters, after that having the character joined. Okay. And let me add this. Oh, that looks legit. Go. That kind of stuff is sort string, and that string and I'm getting the string back, and that's simply this thing, return. And I have my source string, here. Talk. And that's when I'm making the map, and when I'm doing my lookup I need to do the same thing. And now let's go back and see what we should expect in such a case. In our input we should have 8394. Okay, 8394. Okay, that's look legit. So far so good. And the last bit that we want to do is having this temp file, and we need to and that's what we'll expect, 61,000 okay, and when we run that, 29. Okay, now the only thing is to have the input. Okay, that's the number that we're getting, and yeah, we were able to solve the challenge with a lot of thinking, going back and forth, but at the end we did it with help of ChatGPT, Go, Bing, and all of the tools. Okay, see you in the next video. Let's see how we'll get on day 9. As we can see already, the challenges start getting complicated. See you in the next video. Have a nice day.